Most of the exotic armor pieces from Destiny 1 have now returned into Destiny 2. Some of them hold a lot of the same traits as they did in Destiny 1, but a lot of them have been redesigned to fit Destiny 2 sandbox better. There's yet a few that have not made their return yet, so I figured today it'd be fun to go ahead and start out with my boys, the Warlocks, and give my unique spin on how I would bring back some of these Destiny 1 armor pieces. Alright, so getting started, we have the first exotic helmet from Destiny 1, the Light Beyond Nemesis. In Destiny 1, this had the perk Keeper of the Pack. You revive fallen teammates faster, and they revive you faster. Your super also spawns an additional orb for teammates. Now, I think in Destiny 2, this is pretty outdated as we're not really reviving teammates that much, and we can spawn additional orbs super easily with, mods such as Reaper, all that kind of stuff we have on the class items. So now, I have redesigned this exotic to have a new perk called Power Beyond. Multi-kills with weapons, matching your super, or reviving allies creates Orbs of Power. Picking up Orbs of Power grants weapons matching your super that elemental verb for 10 seconds. For example, Void weapons will gain volatile rounds, Solar will cause ignitions, Arc will jolt, Stasis will slow, and Strand will give Strand weapons unraveling rounds. I think this really will make Light Beyond Nemesis more of a neutral game exotic rather than just relying on your teammates being dead for it to be useful. And also, with being able to create Orbs of Power based off of multi-kills, it frees up your mod slot from having to go ahead and put those mods on. Alright, next up we got one of my personal Destiny 1 favorites, the Obsidian Mind. In Destiny 1, this had the perk Insatiable. Nova Bomb kills reduce the cooldown of your next Nova Bomb. In Destiny 2, this has basically been baked into the Skull of Dire Ahamkara as one of its main perks. So I figured this could definitely use some kind of a redesign. I decided to keep the name Insatiable. Kills with Nova Warp extend its duration and damage. Weaken dealt with Child of the Old Gods grants you super energy. I think this would be a great exotic for Nova Warp as it doesn't really see that much use, doesn't get charged up that fast, and with being able to quickly refund super energy back into it, this could really help Nova Warp out. Also, dealing damage with Child of the Old Gods grants super energy. So with the update with the increased super gains, the super gains from Nova Warp and Child of the Old Gods, I think Obsidian Mind could be a great powerhouse for getting your Nova Warps back quickly. Alright, and for the final exotic helmet from Destiny 1, we have the Ram. In Destiny 1, this had the perk Strength of the Ram. Increases armor, and all Void Walker melees trigger a lifesteal hit. Now, what lifesteal is, if you don't remember, was essentially Devour, but in Destiny 1. I remember a lot of people using this exotic because it speaks for itself, literally just making you a tank, increasing your armor. I think one of the most underused abilities in Destiny 2 is Pocket Singularity, so I decided let's give it a little juice with the Ram. So in Destiny 2, I gave the Ram the perk, yet again, Strength of the Ram. Pocket Singularity gains an additional charge and grants an overshield to you and weakens enemies on hit. Kills while you have a Void Overshield equipped gain bonus super energy. This allows Pocket Singularity to stun Overload champions. I think this puts a lot more life into Pocket Singularity and would give people a use to use it, because a lot of the times people are just kind of memeing with it, just pushing people off the map in Crucible, and it really doesn't provide anything in PvE. So I think, this exotic being able to give you overshields plus getting your super back faster could really make it good and give Pocket Singularity a time to shine in one of the sandboxes. For Warlocks, there's surprisingly only one pair of exotic gauntlets from Destiny 1 that have yet to make a return, and that is the Impossible Machines. In Destiny 1, these had the perk Lightning Rod. This unlocks the Stormcaller subclass node Landfall for free. Landfall, on casting Stormtrance, fires a bolt of lightning into the ground, creating a devastating shockwave underneath you. This was baked into the Stormtrance super in Destiny 2. Whether you're using an exotic or not, your Stormtrance is always going to do this, so this definitely needs an upgrade. So I decided to keep the perk name Lightning Rod. Casting Lightning Surge now blinds nearby enemies and refunds energy based on the amount of enemies damaged. You also grant stacks of Bolt Charge at double the rates. I think this would be a great exotic to kind of juice up Bolt Charge a little bit more on Warlocks, and also a way to get your Lightning Surge back. On Prismatic, you have Arcane Needle, which will give you 3 charges of Lightning Surge. But with this, This would essentially give you a way on the pure Arc subclass to use it, which would let you use things like Ionic Sentry or Arc Souls, all those things that Prismatic doesn't have to offer. So I think overall the Impossible Machines would be a great exotic to add to Stormcallers in Destiny 2. Alright, for our first exotic chestplate, we have the Heart of Praxic Fire. In Destiny 1, this had the perk Praise the Sun. This further decreased all ability cooldowns while Radiance was active. For those of you that don't remember, Radiance was the Solar Warlock super in Destiny 1. This basically just decreased the cooldowns of all your abilities, and with this exotic, it just decreased it even more, essentially being the Solar Spam exotic. In Destiny 2, I decided to redesign this exotic by giving it the perk, again, Praise the Sun. This makes Hellion have a longer duration and escalates in damage and duration as they scorch targets. You can retrieve your Hellion by interacting with it, allowing it to be redeployed. Scorching targets provides class ability energy. I think this would provide great synergy for using solar weapons with the solar subclass, and being able to retrieve your Hellions and then redeploy them makes this essentially the solar version of Briarbinds. Briarbinds is my favorite exotic on Void, and it just feels awesome being able to just flood the battlefield with all your Void buddies, and I think just being able to do that on Solar would just be so much fun. Alright, and for another Solar exotic chestplate, we have the Purifier Robes. These were known as the Self-Res exotic in Destiny 1 with the perk Burn Brighter. Activating Radiance from Death disorients all nearby enemies. Now, if you don't remember, when you activated your super from Death as a Warlock in Destiny 1, you'd be resurrected and then be able to spam your abilities. We don't have self-resurrection in Destiny 2, so we're going to have to change this. I decided to give it the perk Burn Brighter. Activating Song of Flame disorients all nearby enemies. Enemies hit with Song of Flame melees are disoriented and weakened. I think this would be fantastic as we don't have self-resurrection, unfortunately. This would still give this exotic use, being able to just pop your Song of Flame and run around just snapping everything, disorienting them, weakening them. This could be really good for stunning bosses, disorienting any enemies in Grandmasters or Day 1s. I think this exotic would be a great addition, and a lot of endgame players probably would end up using this for, Day 1s, Grandmasters, and that kind of activity. Next up, we have a Destiny 1 Voidwalker Classic, the Void Fang Vestments. In Destiny 1, this came with the perk Improved Axiom Bolt. Your Axiom Bolt grenade spawns an additional Seeker. Respawn with full grenade energy. This was really good, just allowing you to juice up your Axiom Bolts and always being able to spawn with a grenade. But in Destiny 2, with Chaos Accelerant, this automatically gives you that perk onto your Axiom Bolts, so we can definitely redesign this one. I decided to go with the perk Into the Void. Hold to convert your Axiom Bolt grenade that, when landed, opens a portal into the void that rains void projectiles at nearby targets. This also provides an additional Axiom Bolt charge. Essentially what this is going to be like is the Telesto Catalyst, where you hold the reload button and it just rains these little purple missiles down on enemies. I think that would be really, really cool and would really give this exotic something unique and just a reason to put it on. Alright, and last but not least, we have probably the most useless exotic in Destiny 1, the Alchemist Raiment. What this did in Destiny 1 was it had the perk Iron to Gold. You had a chance of earning Glimmer on primary ammo pickups. Orbs created while your super is full, recharge your grenade in melee. This was, I don't want to say underused, I want to say never used. Literally all this exotic did was give you Glimmer every time you picked up ammo. Like, what does this even do? This one I definitely wanted to change into Destiny 2. I decided to just go full in Void with this one and give it the perk Embrace the Void. While Devour is active, your Void weapons grant volatile rounds. This essentially would be the Warlocks version of the Gear Falcons for hunters. If you don't know what Gear Falcons it does, every time you emerge from invisibility as a hunter, your Void weapons get volatile rounds. So this basically gives the Warlock aspect a way to have volatile rounds. And this would work on both Void, it would also work on Prismatic since Feed the Void is on there as well. So I just think this would be a fantastic exotic to just kind of give Warlocks a guaranteed way to always have volatile rounds procced. Alright, and that's all the exotics from Destiny 1 that have not returned into Destiny 2 for the Warlocks. Will we ever see these introduced in the future? We'll just have to wait and see. I just always think it's fun to give my opinions and kind of think of ways to change things, introduce things into the game, all that kind of stuff. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video today. Feel free to leave in the comments if you'd like to see me do this for both the Hunters and the Titans, going over the rest of the exotics that are still not in Destiny 2. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Thanks for listening. I hope you have a great day. Go spread some positivity, and I'll see you in the next one.